you don't wear brown and orange, you don't matter.
Let this be a reminder to you all that this organization will not tolerate failure.
Well, buddy boy, I want you to get excited here.
With the first pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Baker Mayfield.
Okay, listen up, people. I'm gonna turn you clowns into a football team.
To the best fans, the most patient fans in the league, the Browns are going to win.
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Welcome, boys and girls. Kevin,
hello.
Welcome.
Good evening.
Do you know what today is?
It's Tuesday.
It's Victory Tuesday, baby. Victory Tuesday. Very, very rare for the Cleveland Browns. Not something that we're really used to. We don't play on Monday night to begin with, and when we do, we lose. This is decades since we've won a Monday night game. I can't even remember how long it's been.
This was not exactly a mid-season Monday night matchup.
It was not, and that was very evident by the way that we played. But listen, we got a lot to unpack here, a lot to talk about. But I'm not going to be one of the guys who's going to poo-poo a victory.
A win's a win.
A win is a win, and I'm going to take the win. I'm going to be happy with the win. Clearly, there's still a lot of things that the Browns need to work on, a lot of things that they need to get cleaned up, and that's a concern. However, we got the win, and we needed it, frankly, especially coming off a very disappointing loss that first week where we just got killed. I don't like saying this early in the season, week 2, as a must-win game, but I do think that it kind of was a must-win game.
Not because it's week 2, not because, of, early conference pressure or divisional pressure, but I think in part just because of the way you lost on week 1.
For
it's
sure.
Not that you lost on week 1. It's that this team came in with a lot of high offseason expectations, and then they played the Titans.
For sure. I mean, it was necessary to get the sour taste out of their mouth from the first week, but let's be honest, starting off the season 0-2, you're putting yourself in a bad spot already.
It is a hole.
It was a road game. It's great to get a win on the road. Anytime you can get a road win.
Absolutely.
Listen, before I don't want to sound like a homer here or anything. I understood when we played I know we played the Jets. I know that they're terrible. I get it. They were down to their 4th string quarterback. I think the water boy came in at some point and was slinging it around in there. I don't know. It was awful. They had no chance to win this game. The Browns absolutely had it well in hand. I don't think that we creamed them.
No.
But I think that it was very clear in the 4th quarter at least that the Browns were practicing more than they were actually trying to play. I think that they were trying to do things that you would normally see in a preseason game or maybe even practice. The game was well in hand.
It was.
They knew that it was over, so they're like, let's screw around for a little while. Let's try to, this is an NFL defense, not the greatest one in the world.
Right.
So let's work on stuff because they don't need to score all the points. The game was handled at that point.
And I will say that for as lopsided a game as that became, you have to give the Jets defense a little bit of credit.
I do.
They could have packed up and go, as soon as their 3rd string quarterback's in there, the game's over. The defense could have packed up and gone home. That could have been 42-3.
Like it's said many times, the defense is getting paid too.
Exactly.
They're over there earning paychecks, and even though they're not a very good unit this year, and the Jets are going to be an abysmal team, at the very least, you want to play for pride, and you don't want to be the guy that puts out on tape to every other NFL team, I quit in week 2 because, we lost our 2nd string quarterback and the game was over. We're going to get killed. Why should I even bother to play? Why should I risk injury or whatever? You want to be the guy that's playing hard. Keep going. Give it your best shot. Like I said, play for pride. So
you saved that for the off the field stuff, demanding trades in week 2 and things like that, right?
Yes, there's a lot of exactly. which there is a lot of that going on around the league right now. Again, for me, I wasn't overwhelmed with the way that the team played. Clearly, once again, we have a lot of things to work on. There are a lot of people right now that are harping on Freddie Kitchens. They are really lamenting the way that the team played. I think a lot of it still has to do with the hype because of all of the talent we have on this team and the players that we have. People are. I think that there's a lot of people that are expecting the Browns to come out and win every game 45-3, and that's incredibly unrealistic.
Right.
I think that all of the Super Bowl talk before the season started was incredibly. I don't even have a good word for it. It was unnecessary.
It was a bit overblown.
It was very overblown. We have a lot to work with, and people are starting to see now that Freddie Kitchens is in fact a rookie head coach. I think that they're forgetting that. That's a very important thing. Not only a rookie head coach, but a head coach who only was a coordinator for half of a season last year.
Right.
Now, we're trying to, you want to always move your offense along, and I think that Freddie Kitchens has a very complex offense. I think he made things simple for Baker last year. Right. I don't want to say he dumbed it down, but he did make it very simplistic. Right. So now he's trying to implement some other things. You have an incredible talent in OBJ that we added. Right. So obviously you want to get him involved in that offense as much as you can.
And if he's just running seam routes and post routes,
right,
that takes his effectiveness out of the game.
And
you look at where he was explosive last night, and those are the type of plays you want to keep seeing.
Wow. Was he explosive? I mean, those are the type of plays. That's what everybody wants to see. Yeah. That 89-yard touchdown. It's the longest in his career, longest in Baker's career. I think it was the fourth longest in Cleveland Browns history. Yep. That was an amazing play. I mean, I watched it about 50 times last night.
Probably.
Very, very excited about it. How could you not? But that's why he's here. Right. And that's what you want to see. At the same time, and I guess we can get into Baker right now. You do want to see those plays. I don't want Baker to try to force that, though.
Right.
And I'm wondering, I'll be honest, I'm not alarmed by his play right now, but clearly he's a little bit different than what he was last year. Mm-hmm. And going back a little bit to what I was saying about Freddie Kitchens, maybe trying to open up the offensive playbook a little bit. I don't think that Baker is anywhere near as decisive so far this year as he was last year. Last year, he got the ball out of his hands very, very quick. He made his read, fired the ball, and he was there. So far this year, he's not doing that. Mm-hmm. He's doing a lot of looking down the field. One thing that is concerning to me, he's not stepping up in the pocket. And that our offensive line is already what it is. It's not the greatest offensive line in the world. They did a good job last night. They protected him, and that was something that we needed to see improve from last week, and it did. But you got to see Baker step up. I want to see him move into that pocket. He was stepping into throws a few times last night, and when he did it, they were darts. I mean, they were there, strong, powerful throws. Baker has an elite arm. He can make any throw in the league to anywhere on the field, and everybody knows that. He needs to stick with that.
Right.
And stop with the running. I think that I don't know exactly what it is. Again, it's not alarming to me, but there's definitely something different with him right now. I think that he's trying to force things a little bit. Mm-hmm. Instead of making that quick read, he's thinking to himself, I got these home run hitters. You know, I got OBJ. I have Landry. I got to make this big play. And that's not the smartest thing right now. Slow down, step up into the pocket, get the ball out real quick, and just move the offense.
And I think, and that's something that you brought up last week as well about picking up some of Brett Favre, another elite quarterback's worst tendencies.
And it was.
In games when you fall behind, deciding that you need to do everything yourself. I think the other thing he's probably not used to is having a receiver like OBJ where if you step up into the pocket, if you give them that fraction more time, they're able to get open.
Absolutely.
They have that ability.
And
He's used to coverage sticking with guys.
Let's be honest too. There's a lot of mouths to feed in this offense, and I think that this whole thing is a work in progress. The offense as a whole, Freddie Kitchens as a whole. Some people are unhappy that he's still calling plays. I think that he has to call plays right now. I don't like it either. I don't like my head coach calling the plays on offense. I think that the head coach should focus on other things. But considering where we are right now and where this team is at, where this offense is at, and it's literally his offense, I think that it's important for him to do that for a while. He can give way a little bit later on in the season.
It doesn't bother me. As a Packers fan, I'm used to it. So
well,
I'm used to head coaches who've got to be the guys calling plays.
I think it makes a lot of Cleveland fans skittish. You know, we've seen head coaches calling plays here, and it's been disastrous. Let's be honest. Everything that we've seen in Cleveland in the last 20 years has been disastrous. And I think that has a lot to do.
Right.
We're confident here in Cleveland. We have a good team. We know we have the talent. But everybody in Cleveland is also very, very gun shy. We see one little thing and we're, oh God, there it is. You know, we have and you can't blame us. I mean, because usually that's what happens. I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's always smoke, and then there's always a nuclear bomb that goes off, and everything just completely goes to hell. So I think that people feel that a little bit. Now, I don't feel that way. I think that this is a growing process. Again, I think that the Super Bowl talk was overblown. I don't think that was necessary. I think I want to grow. I want to see us get better from one week to the next. Now, the first week, it wasn't good. This week we got a lot better. We cleaned up a lot of things. I think we only had 8 penalties this week as opposed to the 18 from the week before. There were still some penalties that I was concerned with, Myles Garrett being one of them. Yes. And we'll get to what you texted me during the game in a second. But it cleaned up, and I think that the offense was at least a little bit more efficient. Baker was up over 300 yards. He did throw a pick, but I think he managed the ball a lot better. He managed the game. Oh, yeah. He protected the ball a lot better. Again, though, I still want to see some improvement from him. I want to see him step up in the pocket, be a little bit more decisive. Another thing that I think when it comes to Baker, too, and I'm curious about, we all know what type of personality Baker has. He's a very fiery guy. And I think he's kind of tiptoeing that line right now between confident and cocky. And that could be dangerous.
It can be, but that's where you want a quarterback to live.
You do. But here's the thing. A confident quarterback is a leader. Yeah. A cocky quarterback is an asshole. And
not always.
That's where, but you have that tendency to go overboard. And that's where you can start to have expectations. Yeah. You can start to be entitled. You can start to...
Entitled is definitely something you don't want a quarterback to be.
Exactly. And you don't want the head to swell. And you don't want it to happen. You know, you want your quarterback to be the leader, to be cocky, or to be confident, not super cocky.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't want to be that guy. And there was a lot in the offseason about us. I mean, he's in every national ad. He just exploded. He's clearly labeled as a superstar in the NFL right now.
Right.
And is he buying into that a little bit too much and then trying to force that while he's out on the field as well? Mm-hmm. Is he trying to be superstar Baker Mayfield when he should just be trying to be quarterback of the Cleveland Browns?
I think there's a point there. I think to a certain degree, though, you need a quarterback who feels that line of confidence and cocky in their abilities to get. You don't want him to be the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. You want him to be the quarterback of who the Cleveland Browns can be.
Can be. Should be.
It should be. And that's the difference. I think you need a little of that cockiness. Because if you're just confident, I think that's where you get a lot of complacency.
Right. Well, and that's certainly something that we don't want here. Complacency, then it becomes apathy, then it becomes just awful. Then it becomes the Cleveland Browns. That's exactly what it becomes. I don't like your tone there, sir. I don't.
See also the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. Oh man, that's just another dumpster fire of a team this year. But look, in their defense, they have like 27 first-round picks next year. Yes. So as long as they don't just pick complete bums, they should bounce back from this real quick. They're doing what we just did.
Yeah.
Because the Browns
had a few years behind.
Right.
Yeah.
So better them than us. We're already done with that. We're through it. Before we continue on here, I do want to make a point here. We've got some social media.
We do.
It's up. It's functional.
You can see it on the bottom of the screen.
It's working.
Now. It's right now. It's even bigger on the middle of the screen.
I love it when it's bigger. That's fantastic.
I need to.
So yeah,
moving on.
Follow us on Twitter at Barking Lot Show.
Yes,
got that one right.
You did. You're 1 for 1.
Facebook, The Barking Lot Show.
2 for 2.
And the big one here on YouTube, The Barking Lot Show. click on the subscribe button, click on the like, click everything. I don't really know exactly how it all works with the statistics and the clicking
let me break this down.
Please enlighten me.
I will enlighten everybody at the same time.
Let us know.
So when you are watching us here, if you're watching us on YouTube live, you can actually chat along with us on the show. You can fire questions at Shooter.
Oh yeah,
we'll answer those as they come in. If you're watching it on demand later, go ahead and fire in those comments as well, because we'll see them when we fire up the old internet machine. And just keep following along with us. You see the links at the bottom of the screen there, and
please,
we're
as many comments as you can leave too. Facebook, Twitter, retweet us. I'm retweeting a lot of stuff, so I've actually been having some fun with the Twitter account lately. I haven't tweeted. I don't tweet. I haven't, but it's been fun because I was laying some tweets out during the game there.
There was plenty to tweet about during the game.
There was a little bit of snark. I don't want to go quite overboard. I'm sure as I become more and more comfortable with it, and the more alcohol I imbibe during games, I might be a little bit more cavalier with my messaging.
Cavalier, I see.
Do you see what I did there? It was a good tie-in.
It was a good Cleveland reference.
Also, speaking of imbibing alcohol, pumpkin, Southern Tier. This is good stuff. Pumpkin flavored beer, because
you're welcome.
I'm a basic bitch, Kevin.
You are, and that's what I'm here for.
We need to get some Cleveland beers up in here. We're gonna get us some Great Lakes.
Sure. I'll take some Great Lakes.
Yeah, we're gonna get us some Great Lakes in here because we're gonna coax them into being a sponsor as well.
Perfect.
I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
Well, you reverse engineer it. You tell them that they already are a sponsor, and that we just missed our latest shipment.
That's what I'm talking about. Maybe a little David Copperfield kind of magic, sleight of hand, that sort of thing. Sweet. As long as the check clears. I don't care how it happens.
I don't need a check. Just send the beer.
All right. That's good. All right. Well, moving along. One more time, just make sure you're checking out all those links. Click stuff, like stuff. Tell me you like the show. Tell me I suck. Get a real job. Whatever. Just participate somehow. And I do have a real job, Kevin.
You do.
Sort of.
Thanks to who?
Oh, well, I mean, you're involved in so many facets of my life now at this point. By the way, have you, I know you've got to be switching back and forth between your cam and mine. Have you explained to people why there's a gigantic fat head of me over your shoulder?
No, I keep blocking it. That's half the problem. That's Big Mike.
So that's Big Mike, apparently.
Mike.
This is what happens when your coworkers make fatheads of you.
I wish I could zoom in on Big Mike right now, but he's there in his nice Hawaiian shirt.
That says, what show is it for? I forget. It's for the cool kids.
Yes.
It's for the cool kids.
Senior citizens.
Ridiculousness.
That makes perfect sense.
So Big Mike is gonna unofficially be our show mascot. Is that how it's gonna be?
Well, I was told that it was in your contract that your face had to be on screen at all times.
That's true.
So
I forgot about that caveat.
This camera is to have you in the background.
I love it. I love absolutely every second of it. All right, back to football, boys and girls. So, Kevin, during the game, you texted me, does Myles Garrett actually know the rules of football? Which I found to be...
I think what I actually said was, surely at this point someone has sent him a copy of the rule book.
Yes. I mean, okay, look, I get it. I don't like it. Last year, Myles Garrett had a bugaboo about jumping off sides. It was a thing.
It was.
I don't know how. I don't have the stats on it, and I don't have a stat mule to look all of this stuff up right now. But he was offsides quite a few times last year. I'm kind of okay with it. He should time things better. But when you're that laser focused and trying to get off to a great start, it's going to happen every now and again. But it's already happened too many times this year. I think this is like this third time now already. I know it happened twice to him in last night's game. I think he had one in the first game too. But the roughing the passer penalties, Kevin, just like last week when we were talking about secondary penalties, pass interference, defensive holding. Mm-hmm. Look, we all have to get used to the way that those calls are being made now. They're being called the way that they are. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. It's the same way with the roughing the passer.
Yes. I have your stat monkey.
I don't. Oh, you have how many times last year?
He committed 9 penalties last year. 6 of them were offsides.
Offsides.
1 was a neutral zone infraction.
Yeah, so I mean, again, he's there. He wants to get after it.
Oh yeah,
he's a freak athlete. He's already leading the NFL now in sacks. He's up to 5 already in the first 2 games. They showed a stat last night in the game through their first however many games. It's him and Aaron Donald basically. I think he's 2 behind Aaron Donald, who is just a total monster on defense. Yeah. So, and he made it very, very clear. He's not shy about it. He wants to be Defensive Player of the Year. He wants to make those plays.
Speaking of that confidence, cocky line.
Yeah, well, right. Now, a little bit different when you're talking about a defensive guy, because I want him to be like a rabid dog. Not to make a terrible analogy.
No, that was awful.
But that's what I want. I want him, I don't care. I just want him to be mean and nasty. And he's not. He's a nice guy.
Right.
But that's what you're looking for from a defensive player. Yeah. Defensive players don't need to play with a level of poise and control that a quarterback does. A quarterback has a lot more to manage. Some defensive guys, especially defensive ends, okay? Because you only have one job.
I think the Titans tape says something else, but the call last night was weak. I will definitely give you that.
Well, and that was kind of what I was getting at. I recall last year, and you and I talked about it a couple of times because it happened back-to-back weeks for the Packers with Clay Matthews.
Yes.
And it cost him, I know it cost him one game. Did it cost him the game the second time that it happened? I wasn't positive.
For sure, yeah.
But yeah, and when it happened, the first, I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. This is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Now, automatically, I'm going to take Clay Matthews aside because I was going to say his father was my favorite football player of all time.
A conversation about your real Clay Matthews.
Listen, I
would have some counterpoints to that argument.
All I'm saying is that I was heartbroken when he didn't sign with the Browns after the Packers let him go because I wanted that to happen. But nonetheless, it is what it is. But no, those hits that he took or he was flagged for last year, I thought were ridiculous. I thought that what happened with Myles Garrett last night was just ticky-tacky. I mean, he didn't. It's not like he was slamming him into the ground or anything like that. It's, to me, 3-4 years ago, that's just a football play.
Well, and
nothing more, nothing less.
That was a lot of the issue with the Clay Matthews hits from last year is it's not that you hit him late, it's that you landed with your full body weight. And it's like, well, what am I supposed to do?
You can't hit him high, you can't hit him low. You can, I don't know who it was in the broadcast last night who 20-second timeout on that. Wow, were they terrible.
I don't like anything about ESPN's broadcast. I don't like their talent. I really don't like their graphics.
I was falling asleep. They were putting me to sleep. The only thing worse could have been Joe Buck. That was like the only. That's because we don't like Joe Buck because he's a dick. But nonetheless, I'm not going to shush. Don't shush me. He can call what? I'll call people out. Colin Cowherd, you bum.
Again.
Come at me, dude. We'll see. We'll talk. But no, they were terrible. But Booger McFarland, he was like, what are we supposed to do? Like, levitate? What are you supposed to do if you're a defensive player? I get that they want to protect the quarterback, but at some point in time, you've got to realize, listen, this is football. It's a violent sport. People are going to get hit. It's very, very large men running at each other at full speed, trying to make them stop. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get tackled. It happens.
And here, another point to digest on. The whole reason that the passer protection rules got put into the league was because the NFL realized the more points people score, the more money we make, the more people watch these games because they like offense.
For sure.
What happened this week with NFL quarterbacks and injuries that were not related to roughing the passer? Drew Brees, they say out 6 weeks. If he comes back this season,
thumb surgery. Yeah,
on his throwing arm. If it was his not-throwing arm, maybe, but on his throwing
arm, 40-year-old throwing arm.
Right. Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, boo-hoo! Little Benny gone for the year, huh?
I know
he gone. Oh, what a shame.
My point is, these passer protection rules have done nothing to prevent those sorts of injuries that are taking these marquee quarterbacks. If this happens to Tom Brady, I won't be disappointed, except for my fantasy team.
How do you feel now?
It's doing nothing to keep these marquee quarterbacks in the game scoring the touchdowns that people want to see.
No, and especially when the opposing quarterbacks are like, listen, I don't mind being hit. You know, if it's I don't like dirty football. I don't want to see, quarterbacks getting hit well after the play is over. And that was something that irritated. Baker got hit. In the first quarter, he got hit well after. He got knocked on his ass. Nothing. No flag. Like, I want consistency. I want consistency in it, and the NFL has to. I don't even know what the NFL can tell defensive players.
Yeah.
Other than stop hitting the quarterback. So, look, the offside stuff, neutral zone infraction stuff, I want to see that get cleaned up. I don't know. I guess just like the defensive holding and the defensive pass interference, all you can do is go out there and play, and whatever happens, happens. They're either going to call it or they're not. Hopefully, we get crews that want to let them play football, and they're not so quick to throw a flag. I don't know. I don't really have. I don't have a solution to it. It's going to happen, especially with a guy like him who's going to be out there constantly making plays. He lives in the backfield. He lives running down quarterbacks. That's literally his job. Now he's the best in the NFL at it. I don't know. He's going to get called for penalties. I don't know if there's any way you can curtail it or make it any better. Do you see a solution?
No, I certainly don't see a solution, and I think to your point, maybe all you can do is prepare for it. To understand that at some point during the game, hopefully it's not, a crucial third down play or something, but if it happens a couple times a game, you just have to make sure that your defense is ready to adapt.
And all the way around, the defense looked great last night. Again, I understand that we played the Jets. I get it. We bottled up Le'Veon Bell, who we all know is a top-tier, best of the best running back. I think he had
doesn't matter who your quarterback is when you got him in the backfield.
Right, and we bottled him up. Yes, Falk is a nobody. I mean, he's no one, and I get that was
an NFL quarterback.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Right. Pardon the hell out of me.
I'm sure his family is very
But yeah, they are. Listen, I'm proud of him too. He was alive at the end of the game, so that to itself is good considering the way they're going down there in New York. But I thought that the defense looked great. If they can just keep playing with that same level of intensity, I think the defense is eventually going to be fine. I saw a lot of pressure. I saw them being a lot more aggressive this week than we were last week, and that was encouraging to me. I still love our rush defense. It's going to be tough to run on the Browns all year. I think it is, and that's good. That bodes well. Usually the teams that are successful do two things. They run the football and they stop the run. And we're stopping the run. Not so much on running the football on our end. I do want to see Nick Chubb get involved a little bit more as I hard shift gears there. But I do want to see Nick Chubb get involved a little bit more for our run game. But as far as stopping the run, we're doing it great. And the defense is playing good so far these last two games. I want to see that going, and just like the offense, get a little bit better week after week. A little bit more, a little bit more.
There's a lot of teams who always focus on the fact that they need to use the run to set up the pass play.
Yes.
That's always been like the mantra of the NFL. And I think, not to, again, get on my Packers soapbox, but the thing that they've done well this year as well is throw the ball to set up the run game.
Sure.
And I think the Browns are in a similar position where you've got a quarterback with a whole lot of talent. You've got some good receivers around him. Use that to soften up defense.
And I do want to see more of the quick reads. I want to see that ball coming out of Baker's hand a lot more. It's been suggested maybe what we should do is run a little bit more of a no huddle, more of a 2-minute offense. I do like that. We came out in preseason. I think it was, pardon my burping, I think it was the second week. We came out and we told whoever we were playing, we said, listen, we're going to do it.
P-Dub says it bones well.
The
dog joke. You get it.
I get it. Who's P-Dub, by the way?
They're following our stream, and
I'm so
that's
excited.
all that matters.
P-Dub, what's
P-Dub
up? Thanks
88.
all right, P-Dub88. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chiming in there, man. I have to get my screen set up too. Now it's bugging me. Now I want it.
I
hey,
told
listen,
you that you would want it.
Look, things are better already. Look, we got the brownie elf going on back here. It doesn't look like we're in
You're not sitting in front of my shelf of Brewers bobbleheads.
Yeah, no, it's whatever. Christian Yelich is cool and everything, but boo for him.
Theoretically, my microphone is working this week.
We're gonna have a Bernie bobblehead too. Yeah, I got a Bernie bobblehead. We're integrating more and more stuff as we go.
Who to you is Bernie?
Bernie Kosar?
Okay, yeah, no, that's not who I think of when I hear Bernie.
Okay, well, that's who you need to think of when you hear Bernie. There is no other Bernie.
Okay.
To everybody in Northeast Ohio, there's only one Bernie. We're not talking about the old man running for president, all right? Or any other Bernie that you could possibly be thinking of.
I'm a fan of Big Mike.
Who's not a fan of Big Mike? We are going to get Big Mike out onto the field in Cleveland. I'm going to make that happen. I don't know how.
I'd love to see that.
We've got to see that happen.
You need to get him a hat or a shirt or something.
We'll work on it. We'll get him some gear. We'll get him I'll get him a Clay Matthews jersey too.
Yeah, the green and gold one. Yeah,
We'll see.
perfect.
No green and gold. In any event, I digress. I've completely lost track of where we were, but going back to the offense, looking forward to next week. I want to see more of Nick Chubb. I think that he's a dynamic playmaker. I think they're trying to, again, he had one more carry than he did last week. I think Nick Chubb needs to be a 20 carry a game guy.
Yeah.
That is when we start getting into that area where we're really making the offense hum. If he can be in that 20 to 25 carries range, 68 yards or something, I believe. It was like 3.1 yards per carry. I can't remember the exact total. But nonetheless, it's good. I mean, he got in the end zone. Mm-hmm. You can see that he really makes a difference. He's a powerful runner. And I still think that I'm not ready to be like, oh, they're not using him right. They're not doing this, blah, blah. I'm not there. This is still a work in progress. Again, exactly. This is week 2. If we're talking about this exact same thing and these exact same issues in week 8, that's a completely different story. Yeah. Completely different story and not something that I want to be talking about then. Hopefully we're well on our way. Not to mention the fact that we get Kareem Hunt back after 8 games. Come back week 9. I don't even know how things are going to change dynamically for the Browns because, again, he's another world-class talent now. Now you're going to have Chubb, you're going to have Kareem Hunt, you're going to have all of these weapons. It's just going to take a little bit of time for everybody to figure this out. And I think people need to be patient about that. Why are you laughing?
Figure it out.
Figure it out. We will definitely be working Letterkenny jokes into the show. Listen, everybody, watch Letterkenny. I'm telling you, it's hilarious. It's stupid funny. I'm plugging it.
They're not a sponsor of this show. We do not need to.
Listen, we'll get them to sponsor. We'll get Big Mike on Letterkenny. Maybe the coach can kick Big Mike. That'd be great. All right, listen, we're looking forward here as we get ready to wrap things up. We're going to go into take a peek at next week. Wow, the Rams are not the Jets.
No, they're not.
At all. And this is certainly going to be a test. Again, I want to talk about, I don't think that it was must-win. I hate saying must-win in week 2, but I really do feel that way because the next 5 opponents that the Browns play are all 2-0. We have a strong line of opponents coming at us, and we need to be prepared, and it's going to start with the NFC champions next week, again in prime time. Mm-hmm. What are the Browns going to do to keep progressing and keep going forward? Obviously, I think that we all know feed the beast that is OBJ.
Yeah.
Get him the ball. Come on. I don't even need to sing his praises or tell you what he's capable of. We all saw it in New York, and then we saw it last night. 6 catches for 5,000 yards in one game, which has got to be an NFL record.
I don't think that's...
It was close. It was like 49-98 or something like that. Whatever. It was a stupid amount of yards, and that one-handed catch. Come on.
The one-handed.
That was. I watched it.
That's literally what you got him.
In real time, I watched the catch. And I thought, oh, God, he's so out of bounds. It was a nice try, whatever. And then I see the ref pointing to the spot on the field, and they're moving the ball. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, what? And they show the slow motion replay of it, and I'm like, holy shit. He caught that ball.
With the new ridiculous catch rules about you have to land with 2 feet in bounds and complete a Hail Mary
Oh yeah, well, he did all of that.
Sign an updated
Right. I mean,
contract.
there was a stopwatch on.
tire
Yes,
shoe.
there was everything. He did all. He checked all of those boxes because that ball was it was glued to his hand. Listen, there's a lot of people that are like, oh well, he's wearing gloves, blah blah blah. Listen, I'm not going to say that the gloves don't help. Clearly, they do.
Right.
But number one, Jerry Rice wore gloves too. Everybody, so calm down. And he was doing that 30 years ago. But at some point, you have to admit, wow, there's a good amount of talent. There's a good amount of talent there.
Yeah.
He does this consistently. It's not like these are fluke plays. He's constantly doing this. So I think getting the ball to him is going to be absolutely essential to this team, as it's going to be all year. But again, facing that Rams defense and Aaron Donald, who is going to be bearing down on Baker, get it out quick. I think that's all it is. Try to go back to what was working a little bit more. And I want the home run shots. I love to see it, and I know Baker wants to take them. I know OBJ and Landry want him to take them. I know that they're there, but try to be consistent. Get the ball out, work things down the field. I see a smile on your face too. What's going on?
Unrelated.
No. But that's what we should do. And get the ball to Chubb, and just do those two things. Try to find a way to strike a balance.
Right.
We're not where we are humming along. We're not a machine yet, but oh boy, the Rams are. Yes. Obviously, they got to the Super Bowl last year. Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, these guys, they're all dialed in. Cooper Kupp is back now, who was a huge part of their offense last year. Mm-hmm. Got hurt, missed out at the end of it. He's back now. They're for real. They are absolutely for real, and I think that more than our offense versus their defense, it's going to be what can our defense do against their offense. Mm-hmm. We've got to get pressure. You've got to get pressure up front. You've got to get it very, very fast, and you have got to make Jared Goff
uncomfortable.
You do. That's a great word. You have to get to him. You've got to rattle him. Try to get him to maybe force himself into some bad throws. We're very, very weak we're not very weak in our secondary. We're weak at safety. Mm. It's probably the biggest glaring weakness that I see on this team on defense. We've got two good corners. We have Greedy. We have Denzel Ward. Those guys are good guys, but we don't have any protection over the top. So you don't want to get beat deep, which means if you want to prevent that, you got to get to the quarterback. You've got to bring pressure. You've got to cover those blitz. We're not a Greg Williams defense anymore. Mm-hmm. We saw some creative blitzes last night, though. I think it's going to be up to a guy like Myles Garrett, and on the other end, Olivier Vernon, get to the quarterback. That's what we've got to be harping at all week long. I don't know how you try to say stop Todd Gurley. Good luck.
Yeah.
If he's on his game, he's elite, and he's a hit or miss guy. But if he's elite or if he's on his game, forget it. So it's going to be a tough test all the way around for the Browns. Keep it simple on offense. Get to the quarterback on defense. That's really all I'm looking for. It's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds, to see exactly if we can keep progressing on both sides of the ball. Next week is going to be a real good test of where we're at. I don't think it was yesterday. We were playing a terrible team. We're supposed to be a good team.
Right.
I don't know if we're at the level of the Rams. If we beat them, I'm going to be, now all of a sudden those expectations are going to be like, okay. I don't think we're going to win. I don't think we're going to get killed, though. I think that we can play with them. And that's not something that we're used to here in Cleveland.
Right.
Especially when an elite team comes, forget it. The tickets are sold. Everybody's drunk in the Muni lot well before kickoff. Yeah. No one cares. I think that we can play with them if we do what we need to do and calm down a little bit more. I think we can play with them.
Do you think the players believe that?
I think that the players do. That's one thing that I do believe. Every one of these guys, after the game, before the game, during the week, they're all saying the exact same thing.
Right.
And they're all talking about how close they are, how awesome that clubhouse is, or the locker room is, how they all rally around each other. The head coach says, I think that we are building a culture here. And that's another thing that people need to understand, too.
Even just bringing in people like OBJ, you've got a guy like Baker.
Yes.
They're winners. They're just winners.
Which is not, and that's, we're not. Cleveland is not. And you can't go from a culture where just coming off 0-16, 1-15. We won one game in 2 years, and then automatically instill, hey, we're a winning organization, we're a winning franchise. No, we're not. We don't know how to win. We haven't won. We haven't seen any success. We haven't been to the playoffs since 2004, 2002. It was 2002 the last time we were in the playoffs against the Steelers. We haven't won. I am 41 years old. The last time the Browns won a playoff game, I was a sophomore in high school. Junior, I think. I don't know. I was at the game. That's all I know. We beat the Patriots. I was at the game. So, and I'm in my 40s now. Think about how crazy that is. We do not have a winning culture here. You can't expect to build one overnight. So, this will be a test. I think that we can play with them, and I think that win or lose, if we can play with them, it really bodes well for the team going forward. But it's going to be a tough test. It's going to be a tough matchup. What's going on in the chimes? What is it? The chime-in, the chats, the interwebs.
The chats.
Who are the web people? They saying anything?
I tried to put it on screen, but apparently I don't have that set up quite correctly yet. No, but Peter has weighed in with a couple more thoughts here. I'm going to go in reverse order to back into...
Oh, you're going to Tarantino this. Okay.
I am. He says, obviously you don't own Gurley in any fantasy leagues. He's not the same player.
Well, I'm aware he is an elite player if he's on.
He also says, home run shots are the problem. Baker is predictable.
I don't know if he's predictable. I mean, that certainly wasn't the case last year. This year... I think that he's trying to force it a little bit. I mean, I'll admit that. Right. I do think that he's trying to force it a little bit. But at the same time, can you blame him? You don't. I mean, right. You imagine you're driving around all the time. You had a Toyota Celica, and then one day you're like, "Hey, man, you got a brand new Firebird," and you're like, "Cool." And then a week after that, you're like, by the way, now you have a Ferrari. You know, and that's what the Browns were. We were a Celica. And then last year, we were a Firebird. And now, Camaro, whatever, man. I'm just saying a decently fast car. I don't know. I'm not a car guy. I don't care. The point is, OBJ's a Ferrari.
Your analogy's showing.
I'm drinking right now. I can't keep myself together. The point is, I don't blame him for trying to force it to OBJ. I don't.
No.
But look at what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, you want that ball in his hands. You can't do it, though, or you will become predictable. I will absolutely agree with that. You will become predictable, and you want to avoid that. Again, I think that it's more progression. It's more growing. I think that the relationship between Baker and Freddie Kitchens is really, really good. It's strong. It's solid. I think they'll figure it out. We're only at week 2. We'll see. We'll figure it out.
But I think if we go back to the upcoming schedule here, Rams, that's a tough test. Then you head to Baltimore and San Francisco. You come home for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Then you go to New England and Denver.
Yeah, this is no joke. We have a very tough schedule. You're going to go back-to-back the Rams and then Baltimore. Listen, Cleveland fans, I love you all, but there's a very good chance we're starting this season off 1-3. It's certainly possible. That would be unfortunate.
Is that since we're on your season record here, we see you're 1-1. You called for 2 wins. You got one of them. What are you saying about the Rams?
About the Rams game?
Yeah.
I don't think that we're there yet. I don't think that we're at the caliber of a team that they've got it dialed in. They were in the Super Bowl last year. What do you want?
As an NFC guy, we'll just leave that alone.
I'm just saying they were in the Super Bowl, and they're a Super Bowl contender again this year.
They are.
I don't think the Browns are a Super Bowl contender. I think that we're absolutely a playoff contender. I think that we're absolutely a contender for the division.
So I'm putting on the notes that you're expecting an L this week.
I'm not expecting it. Why are you painting me into a corner here on this one?
Because how else do we go back to your record next week and say if you were right or wrong?
All right, that's fair. You know what? I'll man up and say I don't see this. I don't see the win.
Copy that.
I see us playing with them though.
Oh, yeah.
I see a game. I see it being competitive. If the Browns come out of this with, say, a 35-28 loss, I'm okay with that L.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. That shows me that we just went toe-to-toe with an elite team, just went to the Super Bowl, came very close to winning said Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. I'm never going to be happy about losing. I'm never going to expect to lose. I don't want to lose. I hope we win 45-0.
Right.
But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that we're going to get the L.
And I will say, even if you're predicting that L there, Baltimore, San Francisco, Seattle, not easy games by any stretch.
No.
But none of those three are the teams they have been the last couple seasons.
No.
I think they're all a step below where they were.
Well, we shall find out going forward. Kevin,
Yes, sir.
do we have outro music?
You're skipping steps here, sir.
Oh, what am I skipping? What's next?
What is that you're wearing, sir?
Oh, I did forget. Yeah. Look at Danger Zone. We definitely listen, if Baker goes off next week.
Happen.
Yeah, oh, that's totally going to happen. That's totally going to happen. We need to get some listen people, we're figuring it out. We're getting more and more things. Every week we're going to add more and more elements to this. But yes, my Danger Zone tee from Brian Zabo at Zabo Apparel.
Boom, there it is on your screen, folks.
Oh, check it out. Go buy his stuff. Buy his stuff. Straight down. All right, buy his stuff. I don't know where. Right there.
Right about there. Right up there.
Oh, right, yeah.
Posted there.
Right there. Right there. Buy this guy's stuff. Also, I am going to plug as well. He has a Scottish Hammer T-shirt.
Bam, there
for
it is on
our
your screen,
rock
folks.
star punter, the greatest punter in the entire NFL. It's a
pretty
sweet
impressive.
shirt. Check out his website. Buy the shirt. The coolest thing about this, though, is that proceeds from this shirt, some of the proceeds anyway, I don't know the exact numbers, but some of the proceeds will be going to benefit the Wounded Warrior Project. Love veterans. Big fan of veterans here on the parking lot. So buy the shirt, help out veterans.
It's an amazing design.
It's a sweet shirt. I want to see our punter walk out onto the field in Braveheart war paint next week because that would just be the dopest thing ever. That's all I think about every time I see this dude is just straight Braveheart. Just straight Braveheart. So yeah, Zabo Apparel, check out the shirt. Go check out his website. Great stuff. That's where I got the Danger Zone shirt from. I just got this in the mail like yesterday too. I'm very excited.
It's a very nice one.
I know. I'm so pumped. So yeah, check him out. Kevin, anything else? Parting shots as we come to the end of show number 2. Hopefully everything went a lot better this second show than it did the first. I feel we look better.
If you didn't watch the first show,
don't
go back.
Just don't go back.
Watch
There's no reason to watch that first show.
It was experimental to say.
Yeah, well, you know what? We're just like the Browns.
Improving one game at a time.
One game at a time. That's all, baby.
Okay.
That's all.
Right.
We'll revisit. By the time we get to Game 16, we'll be going to the Super Bowl too.
We do have one other last note from P-Dubs before we sign off. He points out that look what happened with the 80-yard pass to OBJ. It was a short pass.
Oh, it was, yeah. No, and again, that's what I'm talking about, those quick hits. And I think that's what Baker needs to do. Get the ball out quick. That's why I kind of agree with the sentiment, maybe doing some more no huddle. That's get up to the line, get it quick. And OBJ and Landry are built for that.
Yes.
Just get them the ball and let them go do their thing.
Exactly.
You get Beckham the ball, forget it. Just he can house it at any point.
At any point.
You want those guys getting the ball
on the field. Yeah.
All right, we'll see. Kevin, roll the music.
Rolling it.
Rolling the music. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Check out all the links. The Barking Lot Show, The Barking Lot Show, at The Barking Lot Show, at Barking Lot Show, all that good stuff. I don't even know.
They're on the screen.
They're on the screen. Read the screen. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.